there are four gospels in the Bible.
Mm.
We have John, we have
Matthew
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
and John. Yes.
And you must try as much as possible to be the fifth gospel.
Okay.
That when they look at you, they'll have every reason to glorify God and have every reason to do what is right. What it
Okay.
simply means, or what it simply connotes, is that in all your doings, try as much as possible to be an example. Africans are known as consumers, and that's a bad trait, consumers. What it simply means is that we don't produce anything. So try as much as possible to produce. It could be an idea, it could be a thought, it could be a principle, it could be a theory, it could be anything, a product, because the fact still remains that only those that produce, only those that produce will be respected. So
Yeah.
that is why I tell people, if you read 10 book from so person, you should be able to write the 11th.
John, thank you very much. Okay. Now, see, I
Okay.
know we have just an hour, so let's start this way. Tell my audience who you are and what you do.
For granted. So my name
Good.
is John Amailo. I am a book project consultant and a content management consultant, the business strategies and all of that. So basically what I do is that I run a firm, I run a publishing firm, yes, in the city of Nigeria, in Lagos, precisely. So we work with authors on different areas. Yeah, the goal is just to birth more writers, more authors that will share their stories across the world. They'll begin to tell their stories, in writing, and so many of them. So many are authors and writers that will launch out, to the world at large, basically Africans. So that's what we do.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. See, I believe that we as Africans,
Yes.
we are lagging behind when it comes to reading and writing.
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
Okay. So first, uh, a statement itself is, I'll say it's subjective.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say it's subjective to some level of person because I meet with so many HNIs on a daily basis.
What is
And
HNI?
okay, high network individuals.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I meet with them on a daily basis. And these guys, they are bookworms. They read extensively. So many of them read. So but I'll just say out of 100%, only 20 are good readers. So let's just say 85% of Africans don't even read
I
at
don't. I
all.
don't. I don't. I don't think we will even have 10%.
Okay.
I don't. I
Okay.
really. I don't think we have 10% of
Oh,
readers
okay. Yeah. So,
because even
okay.
if even between my my contemporaries, yes,
Yes.
maybe they read a book into one book in 2 months. Maybe
Yeah.
one. Some of them one book in a year. Okay,
Okay.
and they are educated people. Okay, when it comes to reading, at least read 1, 2 books a month.
Yeah.
I think we lag there. And then the other type thing is that we don't write. Okay, in
Yeah.
Africa, I see we have our writers are mostly fiction writers.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fiction writers.
okay, we have a few fiction writers, very good ones. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
but I used to read a lot of fiction writing. I read a lot when I was younger, but in the
Okay.
last 10 years, I've read only maybe 5 fictions, but I've
Oh,
read hundreds of non-fiction books.
okay.
Okay. And at the time, last year, for example, on LinkedIn, I posted to say, people, please help me with African fiction non-fiction writers. Let me just know them. Let me just pick some of their titles and read. I had very few presented to me. Okay. And I picked some. I read 3 last year, but we don't
Okay.
have enough writers. Okay. So I think we have a long way to go when it comes to that. And that's why when I discovered you as a writing consultant, I said, yes, I need to talk to you, especially since I've been trying to write some books and I'm struggling.
Okay.
you know, so I think you might be able to help people like me and others to do this writing so that we can improve our batting average in this area. So,
Yes.
like I said, I've been struggling to write a couple of books. You, as a writing coach, and you have written several books. One of them,
Fine.
yeah,
Demystifying.
the art of writing. Okay,
Yes.
so tell us, in your experience, what are the most major hindrances in writing?
So, first, the concept of that particular book, which is demystifying the art called writing. So, what I just did there was just to demystify or just to break down that concept called the art called writing. Because, I mean, so many people see it as, a huge and a huge something that's that appears so tough
Mm.
that nobody can do, that is meant for only a particular type of persons. you
Okay.
know that's how Africans even see it. That's one of the big problems. So many Africans, they just see that art, that aspect of writing belonging to some specialized kind of persons, you know,
Mm.
otherwise known as the whites, or probably known as the brilliant persons. So to them, what do I have to share? What is that I want to share? I don't have anything to share. Why will I be writing? Writing is not meant for me.
Mm.
That's just the ideology. So because the thing is that when we were growing up, we were we were programmed with that mentality that it belongs to a group of persons, or probably known as the elites or the whites. So it doesn't belong to everybody. So that mentality, people grew up with it, and that became their own reality, and they are now operating with that ideology, that this belongs to this belongs to that. So what I did in that particular work, demystifying the art called writing, was to break it down, take it step by step, bit by bit, show people what's the art of writing truly entails, and how to get your work done. Was what I just did in that
Okay.
particular way. So I had
So,
to break it down. I had to flush out so many mentality, many hindrances, such as um, I am not an authority. Why will I
mm.
write a book? So many people also think that they are not yet an authority, because I mean, when you write a book, the concept author was coined from the root word, or the word authority was actually coined from the root word authorship. You understand?
Okay.
So for you to author a book, you must be an authority in a particular field. You understand? So many people just think they are not an authority in a particular field. Why will I author a book? But the fact still remains that you can't become an authority in any field waiting. You just have to be in the process, in that thing you yearn to become an authority before that or that spirit of authority comes upon you. So that's just it. Yeah. So it is in the process that you become, not why you're waiting. So that's just it. So that mentality alone, that I am not an authority, why will I author a book? So we have to clear it out. We point out so many things, for you to just know. Yes. So that's just it. So you don't have to become an authority before you author a book. Once you have the ability to research, once you have the 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 sense of thoroughness, the ability to think, the ability to find, to make research, then you are good to go. You understand? Because the fact still remains that nobody knows it all. Even my first book that I wrote, Your Foolish Mind. Now, that book was basically on the biological construction of the mindset. Now, I am art inclined, that I studied arts in school. So anything that has to do with sciences is not my thing. But when I was putting up that book, the Your Foolish Mind, I took some courses on science. I took a course on neuroscience. I took some courses on Coursera, just to build up and strengthen my knowledge in the field of science, because I know that there is a connection of the mindset that has to do with science. So that was why I learned a lot about neurosciences. I learned about quantum physics. Yes, quantum physics. I also learned about the nocebo effect and the placebo effect. All these concepts were the things that I got to know. Then I put it there. I added it there. Also, the reticular articulating system. So all these concepts about the mind. So that's just it. So that is one. I'm not an authority. How will I author a book? That's one. So the second thing is that people just think people no longer read books, or the feeling that whatsoever you want to write has been written before. All the things you want to write on, they've been written before. Is it mindset? Is it leadership? Is it mentorship? Is it productivity? They've all been written before. But this is a statement that I usually make. Even though they have written before, even though they've all been written before, the idea that when you write it, backed up with your own specialized experiences and your own view and perception towards that concept, makes it different. So your story is different, your experiences is different as well, and your insights, the way you think, is also different. So that is just it. So the thing is that even that so-called bestseller that we celebrate today, his or her thoughts might not change that young boy, that young girl outside there. But once they get hold of your own story, something might even struck a chord in their mental agility, and it will change everything entirely. So that's just the idea. So when people come up to me and tell me all this, I just tell them, hello, what about if you put yours, coupled with your own experiences and your own stories, with your own perception? How do you see that? It makes it different. That's just it. So there are also so many thoughts that people no longer read book. That's a lie from the pit of hell. People read book on a daily basis. People read book on a daily basis. As a matter of fact, you might not even write to Okay, like where I am in Nigeria, you might not even write to Nigerians. Let me even stick clear it. This year alone, I did about 4 workshops across Nigeria. The city of Lagos, city of Abuja, city of uh, Anambra, city of Enugu, city of Ibadan, Oyo State. Now, during those workshops, I was going with my book. By the time I'm done teaching, I referred them to my work. People were buying. People were buying. When I go online where I uploaded my works on Amazon, the people that I see there are not even Nigerians. These are majorly Africans. Here, sorry, majorly the whites from different countries, different continents. That shows that people still read book. The question is that what value are you dishing out in your work? What problem are you solving in that book? Or do you just want to write book for writing sake? Or you're trying to solve a particular problem? Because the thing is that people read, but people don't just want to read to recycle foolishness, to recycle a particular thing they already know. People want to read to be informed and to gain value, for their problems to be solved.
Yeah.
So that is the first thing that whenever I want to work with any author, first I'll ask the person, what is the idea behind this book you're trying to write? Because through that, we'll be able to get how we can structure your work. What is the idea? Why are you putting up this book? Sincere question. Now you're speaking with me. Be sincere. Why are you putting up this book? What's the idea behind it? If you can't give me a strong why, I'll tell you, hello, go back again. Go and think of an idea, because if your why is not strong enough, you might get stuck in the process of writing this book.
Yeah.
And you never get the book. So that's just it. So valuable books people read or they did. So we've been able to clear up those mentality that have worked with people over the years. Why some will just say, I can't. Okay, people in Nigeria, most especially, they'll say, or in Africa, they say, English is not my thing. How do I write it? How do I do all this? Well, I mean, English is a language. It's lands. It's a general language. So you don't even have to, even though it's not your theme, you just have to go learn it. So that's just it. There is no excuse. No excuse is valid for you not to put up your ideas there, put up your books there. So that's just it.
Wow. That's very, very insightful. See, people who want to write books and don't have their books are going to solve would always have issues. Yeah. And although I haven't read the book, I tried to get it on Amazon. It was on Kindle. It was going to Kindle. Yeah. Is it Kindle? That's the platform where you read it. Yeah. I thought I could get it hard copy. Like I buy books all the time. See, I have books everywhere.
Which of them, please? Which of them?
Let me just check. See, let me check right now. I will tell you.
Okay.
See,
are you talking about my book?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. For the moment, we are setting up something. You are trying to update the work. See, so when it is live, I'll let you know.
Okay, because all authors that I have brought on this platform, I get at least I get a copy of one of their books.
Yes.
Because I like to read their own writing to know where they're coming from. That's what I see. I have books everywhere on this table. I have maybe about 40 books right on this table. Wow. I have shelves everywhere. So me, I'm into reading books. Okay, I like to read. I like to learn things. Yeah. So
wow, that's great.
One thing is writing. Okay.
Okay.
Another, when it comes to book, the other part is selling the books.
Yes, marketing.
And yes, and getting people to read it.
To buy, to
So
read.
what's your advice with that?
Okay, so what I do is, what I tell people is, or any author that comes to me to write, that he or she wants to publish a book. First, I'll tell the person, I usually give the person a kind of marketing structure. So I create 3 phases: the pre-launch phase, the launch, the launch phase, and the post-launch phase. The pre-launch activities, the launch activities, and the post-launch activities. So these are 3 phases that are involved. But so many persons just think it's only to launch. But it's beyond that. So there are 3 phases. The pre-launch. At the pre-launch stage, I'll tell you first, get active online.
Yeah.
Get super active online. The social media pages, excellently. Get active online. Now, how do you get active? First, begin to create content that comes around the topic of discussion you want to write on.
Yeah.
By the time you begin to create content, you begin to feed your audience on a particular subject matter. By the time you begin to feed them, they begin to see you as an authority in this area. As they begin to see you, there's a formula that the online works with. It's called the KLT formula. As they begin to see you, they begin to know you. That's the K. As they begin to know you through your constant publications of content, articles on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. As they begin to know you, as they begin to see you, they begin to like you, because there must be some set of people that will key into your ideology, to your thought process on this particular field. They begin to like you. As they begin to like you, they graduate from trusting you. That's the KLT. They know you first, who you are, what you do, what's the value you entail, and that which you do. They begin to know that. From that, they begin to like you as a person, as an authority that is playing in this particular field. Then from there, they begin to trust you. When I mean trust you, they begin to trust the product coming out of you. They begin to trust the product coming out of you. That's when they can give you their money and exchange it for that value you call a book. But so many persons just jump out from nowhere. I want to write a book. I want to, and you write a book. It's packed, stocked. Nobody's buying it. Nobody's selling. No, nothing is going. You understand?
Yeah.
And you see, and you just conclude, oh, to write a book is a waste of time. Authors are broke niggas. Others are talking nonsense. When you've not done the real job you ought to do before you put it out. So that's why it's very good. Have a consultant that will guide you through. Have a
Yeah.
consultant that will guide you through. It's very important. Yes.
Mm.
So that is just it. So when you're done with the book, when you're done with the pre-launch activities, about sometimes I usually give them 21 days content challenge on this topic. 21 days content challenge. By the time they hit that 21 days, there's this sense of commitment that comes within. By the time you do something constantly, 21 days, there's this sense of commitment. When you keep doing it, before you know it, the urge for you to write begins to pop up. People begins to believe you, trust you, all these things. So that is one. So after that, we'll create, it's usually a kind of structured plan. So I'll even tell them to do a webinar. Yes, a webinar is also part of it. Do a webinar, around that particular thing, and use your book as a bait, or probably create a course and use your book as a bait. These are strategies. Or like, so what I do, I host workshops, and I use my book as a strategy, a bait. So if you register for my workshop, you have my book. You register for my workshop, you have my book. And sometimes I upload on different various international platforms, Barnes and Nobles or Kada Books, Amazon, KDP, or on Seller as well, different platforms. And you begin to sell out big time. So that's just it. And even after you launch that book, there are some sort of post-launch activities that go on. Post-launch activities. Yes. So at the moment, I'm working on 2 books. One will be sold across the universities in Nigeria. The first class English grammar to be sold across the university. As we speak now, I've met about 5 universities. I mean, if I am able to work it out, my book gets into the curriculum of a particular course in the school. Man, that's a massive sales. And you just go there with a business mentality. Go there, okay, this book is sold for so and so this thing. Any copy that sells, you have your percent, I have my percent. That's just it. That's sales going on. Before you know it, things are going. So that's just it. But first, you must have to build value. And these times and season that we are, leverage the social media. Most of the things I do are on social media. I mean, day before yesterday, I was on Channels. Channels TV, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I was on Channels. I was invited. That single clip got me a lot of opportunities. Immediately, I finished my interview on Channels, posted it on my social media page. So many persons were just, wow, I love this. Can we have you? Can you have it? Before I know it, TVC called me, for them to have me on interview again. So that's just it. So build value. And
Yeah.
you must also put money. You run ads as well,
Yeah.
sponsored ads for you to make more sales. There are so many things attached to it. So that's just it.
Yeah. That's very good. That's very good.
Yeah.
You are the founder of Dynamic Africa Community. Okay. Tell us about that.
Okay, so the Dynamic Africa Community is a community that is set out to raise dynamic leaders. Yeah, because we've come to realize that Africans need a little push. Yes, there's a lot. We have a lot, but we just need a little push for us to manifest that and for us to rewrite our names on the global state of affairs. I mean, Africa has been backward for so many years, so many days, so many donkey years, and I just feel that we all have a role to play. We all have a role to play. So in one way or the other, play your own role for the betterment of this particular continent. So that's why it's called the Dynamic Africa Community. So what we do, we have a community of individuals. So that community, we host workshop, host uh events, gets bright minds. So that's just the whole idea around it. So
What kind of events and
okay, so we usually host a yearly event, a physical event that converges about 1,000 persons in one room, physical event in Lagos here.
Okay.
So we are bringing some global leaders, industry guys. We have about 2 to 3 celebrities that are coming that have been able to achieve a lot across the board. I mean, one of the clients that I work with is trying to document his processes, over the years, how he was able to uh, export his business ideas. He's into fashion industry from Nigeria to about, let's just say, 16 to 20 countries.
Wow.
In the world. Yeah. So that's what we are working. So he's
I,
coming.
I would like to meet such a person. I'd like to talk to him.
Oh, great.
Is he African?
Yeah, he is. He's African.
Oh, I would very much like to talk to him. Yeah.
So he has been able to put out different branches. I mean, in China, in different Congo, in Uganda, in different areas. I was like, what? and you are here in Nigeria, man, we need to get you. You know, so this guy is coming live at the Dacians conference, the Dynamic Africa Community Conference, to come and share his ideas. So the other person we have, Yomi Casual, you know AY, the comedian.
Yes. I see. I know AY. I know the name AY, but I wouldn't lie to you. I am not very familiar with many of them. See,
Okay, so his
because
brother,
I'm a book person.
okay, that's fine. So his brother, Yomi Casual,
Mm,
is also in the fashion industry. I mean, he
okay.
has branches both in Canada, both in UK, both in US, you know, in different countries. So he's coming on board as well. So, you know, so that is just it. So we also have someone like Jide Kene, the actor, a renowned actor that
Actor,
is
yeah.
also he has acted so many movies on Netflix, you know, powerful global actor. So we want to know, and this is a guy that started from the scratch, you know, so his talent he has been able to maximize that his talent to get to the global space, you know, where he's operating at the moment. So this guy is going to be live at that event to share his thoughts, share his
Wow.
ideas, and talk
Wow.
about
That's
whatsoever he's
great.
doing. So the theme for this year's conference is competing for the global stage, competing for the global stage.
Okay.
You know, this is the fifth edition. We've done it for 4 times now.
Okay.
So this year's edition is the fifth edition, you know, and we are gathering about 1,000 persons in a room.
So
1,000 persons in a
there's a
room.
dynamic Africa community. Good.
Yes.
All right. You are also the founder of how do I pronounce this? The
Dacians
Dacian Writers
Academy.
Academy.
So yes,
Okay.
that's the one that champions every of the writing stuff that we do. The book
Okay.
project consultancy stuff, yes. Where we meet with authors, creative. You know, we are trying to create a club in Lagos here. And that club is coming up by God's grace. Next year, we'll fully establish a club where we're going to meet and converse with writers, with authors, how they
Okay.
can make more money, how they can make more sales, how they can document a real African story. It's one thing that has actually killed so many African giants is that so many of them died with their stories. At the moment they died, everything about them forgotten.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what we want to do is to create a culture of documenting experiences, stories, strategies, principles for the younger generation to
Yeah.
get hold of it.
Yeah.
There is no great America. There is no great what anybody whatsoever in a white man's country, anywhere outside Africa, that does not have his or her story
Yeah. A
documented,
biography. Yeah.
biography.
Biography. Yeah.
But ours is
Autobiography. Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what we want to create. So that's what we want to create. We want to
Yeah.
get so many bestsellers from Nigeria. More of them. If we check on the on the if you check on the map now, you will see only few that were able to make their way to the level of becoming a bestseller. Guys like Chino Achebe, Wale Soyinka, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, you know, the likes of them, Buchi Emecheta, Flora Wapa, you
Yeah.
know.
Those are all writers. If, see, all our leaders, for example, okay, I've only read, okay, Zeke, Awo, Obasanjo, and Babangida. Okay.
What about Mandela?
Yeah. Oh, right there. Look at his book in front, behind me. See,
Yeah,
for me, all our past leaders, all our past head of states,
Yes.
should have multiple biographies and autobiographies written. Yeah. And all our leaders in industry should also have the same thing, to tell their stories, so that a young boy or girl wake up and read about the fight for independence, all the maneuvering, who did this, who said what. You see, just this week I had to order the Federalist Papers for the American Constitution, because I've been listening to them talk about it, and I decided to get the book so that I can have it and I can go through it myself. See, this is something we don't do, as Africans, and I think we need to change that narrative.
Yes.
You know,
You're right. You're right. So that's what we are creating at the Dacians Writers Academy. It's an academy where we birth and we train young writers. I mean, the goal is to also bring established writers. We're looking at, by God's grace, bringing on board Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie by next year.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to bring Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie on board. I want to also bring Wole Soyinka on board.
Okay.
By God's grace.
Yeah.
To sit them down.
You guys need to do that very soon.
Yes.
He's getting old, so get him now.
Yes, before he goes, man.
Get him now. Yes.
God.
Yes. See, as a young boy, I read about five or six of his books. Yeah. I was not I didn't study literature past from 3 in secondary school, but I read all the classics of Nigerian authors, before then. So I really want more young Africans to read books. You see? So this is why I always ask my guests to recommend books for them to read. Okay, as I'm a reader and I want people to read, so I want you to please recommend 5 books for my audience to pick up and read.
Okay. So first, I would want them to pick up my own book first.
Yeah,
Your Foolish Mind.
Sure.
Yeah, very important.
Okay.
Your Foolish Mind. And that's
do you have it in hard copy?
Yes, I have. See, in hard copy.
Here. Okay. Yeah. Your Foolish Mind. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Where can I get this? Amazon?
But that of Amazon, just like I told you, we are trying to update something, but it will be live, everything by, let's just say.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What else?
It will be live there. And also, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Very good. Very good.
By
Stephen Covey up there.
Yes. That's a powerful work.
Yeah.
He talked about a lot. And there's a particular book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. By Visionary.
Yeah, I have it right there in that shelf.
Yes, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind.
Yeah.
The powerful work. And the monk.
Oh no, this is a Psychology of Money.
Oh yes. Let me see that. All right, let me go. The Code of the Extraordinary Mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. That's a good one.
Yes. Also, The Monk by Dechetti.
Yeah.
The Monk.
Okay.
By Dechetti.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a powerful book which I want them to read.
Okay. And the last one?
Also, yes. Money by Robinson by Tony Robbins.
Oh,
Money.
really?
Yes.
Let me see.
Master the game of money.
Oh, okay. Master the game of money. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. It's a powerful book.
I didn't get the hard copy. I had it on Audible. Yes.
Yes. And there's a book by, I'll just add this because it speaks a lot about the African traditions, the African culture by T.D. Jakes. That
Okay.
book is called Don't Drop the Mic. That's a
Ah.
metaphor, a very strong metaphor that speaks to the African, trying to remind them that there is a place, there are people that have fought for us to get to this place.
Mm.
And you must do all you can for you not to drop that mic,
Okay.
for you to becoming, keep becoming
Good. Good.
in
Good.
all you're doing. Don't drop the mic, according
Very
to
good.
T.D. Jakes. Powerful,
Very good.
excellent speaker.
Very good.
T.D. Jakes.
To help young Africans not to drop the mic.
Yes.
Okay. I want you to advise them on what they can do to contribute their little quota to develop their communities.
Okay, so just the way I have started, I mean there are four gospels. There are four gospels in the Bible. We have John, we have
Matthew
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
and John, yes.
And you must try as much as possible to be the fifth gospel.
Okay.
That when they look at you, they'll have every reason to glorify God and have every reason to do what is right. What
Okay.
it simply means, or what it simply connotes, is that in all your doings, try as much as possible to be an example in your locale, in anywhere you find yourself. So do the best you can. Look beyond, look beyond consumption and thrive as much as you can to produce better ideas. To go back and just look within. Think of what to do that will change your own world. You know, Africans are known as consumers, and that's a bad trait. Consumers. What it simply means is that we don't produce anything. So try as much as possible to produce. It could be an idea, it could be a thought, it could be a principle, it could be a theory, it could be anything, a product, because the fact still remains that only those that produce, only those that produce will be respected. So
Yeah.
that is why I tell people, if you read 10 books from so person, you should be able to write the 11th. You should be able to write the 11th. You shouldn't just be consuming. You shouldn't just be referencing. People should also reference you at some point. See it as a duty. See it as a duty to produce something at every point in time. Very important. So when you are able to change your mentality from consuming only to also producing, with that you are directly or indirectly, you are upholding the identity of Africa. Because I mean, they will also, when they see the stuffs you're doing, the first question they will ask is, what continent is it from? Where is it from? Where is she from? And with that, when you mention Africa, when you mention that, it will be like, wow, great, excellent. That's the powerful stuff. That's the only way. It's through your works that they can glorify whosoever created you or wherever you're coming
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
It's not by your weddings, it's not by your beauty, it's not by your shape, it's not by your name, it's your works. So these guys over there, the world celebrates people for their works. They also celebrate people for their results. So your results is tied to your works, to your
Yeah.
production, to the things that came out of you. So try as much as possible, anywhere, in whatsoever level you're doing it, just do it anyhow, anyway. Yes, just the way I have started here in my local community. Just like next year, we're taking it off the country, going to Ghana, Rwanda, uh, Kenya, to go hit them back to back, to go rise giants that will change the narrative across board. You can also start from there, start within your community and begin to do certain kind of things. So that's just the advice.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. My final question.
Okay.
What is your vision for Africa in the next 20 to 30 years time?
That's a strong one, man. My vision for Africa
Yes.
is to remove Africa from the from being a third from being classified as a third world country. At least let's get to when they talk about the first or second world country, Africa should be part of it. How? Through our works, and through the guys, through the voices that we rise through me. So that's just the idea. For us, for our name, for our identity to be placed as part of the first, the second world countries. That's it. That's the Africa we need. That's the Africa. That's the Africa. That's the vision. That's my own vision for Africa in the next 20 to 30 years. I don't know. I don't want to know how it's going to happen, but I know it will definitely happen. That's
Okay.
just it. Yes.
Okay. John,
Yes.
thank you very much for being a
Pleasure.
great guest of the Think Big for Africa podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Pleasure. Thanks for
Bye.
having me.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.